Hi, civil service examination, when it comes to various levels, that is preliminary level and at mains, the interview, everywhere I find students talking about current affair. Current affair is one area which is not having a defined syllabus, but PT examination, we need current affairs, direct questions are being asked. Main examination, you have got current inspired questions being asked. When you write answers, you have to have current related issues incorporated as part of the answer. Also, when you go for interview at that stage as well, you have got current affair is there. So there's no escaping when it comes to current affair, and it is, as I told you, that it is not defined. So often people talk to me about how to really go about doing current affairs. Today, I would like to take 10 questions of current affair and try and see as to those issues which is bothering you when it is about all different facets of current affair, how to go about them, you should be clearer. My first issue is that when I have people bothered about what is a current affair, I mean, what can we take as current affair? Because when we buy newspaper every day, the first page, top left corner to the last page, bottom right corner is all current affair. Well, I think I like you to understand the current affair. It has to basically seen from the perspective of the syllabus of general studies that we have got. Even for that matter, optional. Anything which connects to your syllabus of general studies, you can consider that as part of the current affair. You have to also understand the difference between current event and current issues. Event come in a flash and go. Issues are a regular one. I mean, you have got a program which has been announced by the government. That's an event, and that's something which is have to be seen from the perspective of the issue, if it connects with the issue of the syllabus or not. And that is one check that you would see when you understand what is current affair. In fact, I like you to focus more on current issues more than the current events. Like if you got Sensex jumping one day, that is an event, but Sensex is an issue. You should know about that issue. The second is that how much time shall we refer for current affair? That's a common question asked by a lot of students. I think 1 year is a reference point, but there's no thumb rule. 1 year is a good enough time that you can possibly consider that as part of the current affair. Then another question asked, the third question I can imagine that can be seen here is that to what extent we should cover current affairs? Well, you should think that how much can I revise? Because unless you revise, you can't memorize. So reading once is not the issue. So you should not be guided about to what extent, based on the extent of time that you can give on a single day. You should decide on the basis of how much can I retain, and for that, of course, revision is important, integral component of that. So how much can I revise and retain in my mind is all the basis that you should consider collecting information of current affair. It should not be guided by the fact that what is appearing in the newspaper is current affair for me. Don't forget, newspaper is not printed for you, it's printed for everybody. Then fourth question which comes is that what kind of sources that I should be referring to current affair? Well, of course, it is very difficult for those people who are starting now to know as to what is current affair. Of course, I would like you to look at the previous year's question to understand for the sources, but if you take my advice, newspaper is the best sources. I think, but newspaper you have to be a little bit careful about picking the information. As I just mentioned to you, it is not printed for you. So one has to be careful about picking up the information with the connect with that with the syllabus is very important, and the capacity to memorize is also very important. Magazines is basically prepared as an edited form, and we at KSG prepare Current Connect, and that is where we establish the connect of the current affair issue with the syllabus, and that is where it will be very easy for people who want to reconfirm if they pick the right thing from the newspaper or not to every month refer to Current Connect magazine, and through that ensure that they have picked up the right stuff which was required for a given period. Also, there's an often asked question to me that how to go about backlogs. I mean, going by the word current affair, there is no backlog. There's a current, it's running, it is always there, continuous. So there should not be any backlog. If you left something, wait for it to come back to you with as in current issue. If it is issue, well, of course, you can possibly do it. And when you are not able to understand that issue, you're not able to understand that event, then you can research for that for backlog. But if you have not read the newspaper in a particular day, forget about it. Don't pile it up for the next day, because if you do it once, it becomes habit. And you start compiling it for Sunday. And Sunday, there's always a thicker newspaper, so you have more trouble. Never ever think that you will cover the backlog of current affair issues. Do it on a daily basis. Now, sixth question, which is often asked here, is that how to make notes about it. And there are two ways people have been asking about it. One way is that shall we make a diary kind of thing? Every day event shall I write? Or should I go for thematic? My vote is for thematic collection. If you have got, let's say, a syllabus is there on I would say, let's say India and the neighbors is a topic in the syllabus, and then you've got an issue on Afghanistan. If every daily basis you go on writing about issues on events of Afghanistan, there is one entry on page number 1, another entry is on page number 80, another entry is on page number 125. Doesn't make a sense, doesn't make a story. Write it thematically and collect information on that basis also on a particular sheet of paper written Afghanistan, and you keep it as part of the paper which is India and the neighbors file that you have got. This is how I would like you to make notes about current affairs. Another is that seventh question. I would say that facets or dimensions of current affairs that I should be picking up. When I look at facets, when you're looking at newspaper, don't try to write another newspaper making notes of that. The facets you should be picking up is the facts that you have got there, the phraseology, the terms, the technical words that are used there that you should be picking up, the context that information has happened, and the logic of that. So facets would include fact, phraseology, terminology, context, and the logic behind that. So these are the 4 facets of the current that you should be picking, and you'll be very, very comfortable collecting enough information that is required for the examination. Well, another question is asked to me is that how often we should be doing it. My answer to that question is that it has to be done on a daily basis, and if you miss out on a day, don't forget there's a second day you'll be picking up. Leave it, forget it. If it's an issue, it will come back to you. Then another question is asked to me, should we use technology or not? I think, I suppose technology is a double-edged sword, I would say. It gives you a lot of advantages in collecting information. At the same time, it takes you in a, I call it as a whirlpool of hyperlinks. Like one hyperlink to another hyperlink to another hyperlink, and you get into the whirlpool, and it takes a lot of time in a particular area and gets sucked in. So if you can, with restraint, with fixed time that you're using technology, I'm very happy about it. Use technology, but it should not be used as a device to cut, copy, and paste, and then left it aside and say that, hey, forget it. Remember always, your capacity to remember is what is important, and based on that, I would like you to pick up. One more question which I am often asked is that, what not to study in current affair? This is a very genuine question for a lot of people who are starting this preparation, that what not to study. In fact, at coachings that we always tell you is what not to study, because these days we have got, you're swimming in the information. Information is democratized, so to say. So it is something which I would like to say that something that doesn't connect with the general studies, something which is sensational in news, something which has got a very short span of its existence, something which has got a fewer number of people that is connected with it, you should avoid reading them. In short, I may tell you, something which you look like excited reading about, you should avoid reading that. Nevertheless, these are the 10 possible questions which are usually asked to me. I thought like I would like to reach you. It is slightly long vlog of mine, but I appreciate your patience. And if you've got any current related issues, you can always get back to us, and you would definitely get to know as to what and how and where to pick up the current affair information. We'll be very glad to help you. My best wishes are with you.